You don't always have to be available. You don't always have to explain yourself. You don't always have to show up for people who wouldn't even notice if you were gone. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is silence. It's distance. It's disappearing, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of respect for yourself. When you step back, something amazing happens. The world starts to reveal who really values you, and who only values your presence when it's convenient for them. Give them the gift of missing you. Let them wonder where you've gone. Let them feel the weight of your absence. You see, when you're always there, you're taken for granted. But when you walk away, when you put your energy into yourself, you stop chasing, and the right people will start chasing you. Don't be afraid to create that space. Distance is not the enemy. It's the filter that separates the ones who care from the ones who never did. So step back, let the noise fade, focus on you, because when they finally realize your worth, it'll be too late, and you'll be too busy becoming everything you were meant to be. Silence is not weakness, and it is not surrender. Silence is presence without noise, a language without words, a power that moves deeper than anything you could ever say. In a world where everyone is quick to respond, to defend, to prove themselves right, silence is the rare art of restraint. It is the decision to stop explaining your worth to people who have already decided not to see it. It is the refusal to waste breath on ears that are closed, the refusal to fight battles that do not deserve your energy. Silence does not mean you agree. It does not mean you have nothing to say. It means you value your peace more than you value proving a point. When you choose silence, you take back control of your energy. You are no longer feeding the endless cycle of reaction, drama, and emotional exhaustion. You become intentional, selective with your words, aware of when speaking will serve you and when it will cost you. People will misinterpret your silence. They will assume it means you have no defense or that you have given up. Let them. You are not here to correct every misunderstanding. You are here to protect your spirit. Silence is a mirror that reflects the truth back to people. It forces them to sit with themselves, to hear their own thoughts without the comfort of your voice to guide or distract them. And in that space, they start to realize what your presence actually meant. Silence removes your energy from the noise, and that is when the noise begins to fade. It is not avoidance. It is strategy. It is knowing that not every situation needs your voice, but every situation needs your control. Sometimes the loudest message you can send is the absence of one. It is the act of standing still while everything else moves in chaos. It is patience, the discipline to wait for the right moment to speak, or perhaps to never speak at all, because the truth will reveal itself in time. Silence teaches you to observe more than you react, to understand more than you respond. It allows you to read the intentions behind words, to see the motives behind actions, to decide wisely who deserves your answers and who does not. The more you master silence, the less you are controlled by impulse, and the more you are guided by purpose. When you stop giving instant reactions, you stop being predictable. When you stop being predictable, you stop being easy to manipulate. Silence is a shield that protects you from unnecessary wars, a filter that keeps you from lowering yourself to someone else's chaos. And in that silence, something shifts. People begin to feel the weight of your absence, the value of your voice, and the strength of your presence. They notice the gap you leave behind, and in that gap, they see the truth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all, and let your silence speak for you. Distance has a way of showing you what words and actions often hide. When you step back from people, from situations, from constant interaction, you give space for reality to surface. In closeness, emotions can blur judgment. The noise of daily conversations, the comfort of routine, the convenience of always being around can make you overlook signs that something is not real or not mutual. But when you create distance, you strip away the distractions. You remove yourself from the automatic patterns, and in that space, you begin to see clearly who truly values you and who only values what you can give them. Distance is not just physical. It is emotional, mental, and spiritual. It is choosing to withdraw your energy from places where it is wasted, and to let absence do the work that presence could never achieve. Those who care will feel the pull of your absence and move toward you. They will check on you, reach for you, and try to close the gap. Those who never truly valued you will let the gap grow wider without concern. They will fill it with other people, other distractions, and their silence will answer questions you have been carrying for too long. This is the truth. Distance reveals loyalty is not measured when you are near. It is measured when you are gone. When you are always present, you cannot tell the difference between those who stay out of genuine care and those who stay out of convenience. But when you step away, you see who is willing to cross the space between you without needing you to bridge it. Distance also shows you the role you played in people's lives. Was it love or was it utility? Were you appreciated for who you are or only for what you do? When you stop showing up for everyone's needs, the ones who only saw you as a resource will disappear. This may hurt at first, but it is liberation in disguise. Distance does not create problems. It only reveals what was already there. It forces truth to come to the surface without you having to demand it. You no longer have to guess where you stand, because actions or the lack of them will tell you everything you need to know. And in this revelation, you find freedom. You realize you no longer need to chase, to explain, or to fight for a place in someone's life. If they wanted you there, they would have made sure you knew it. Distance is a silent test that requires no confrontation, no argument, no begging. You simply step back and the truth walks toward you or away from you all on its own. In the end, distance protects you from illusions, from false connections, from one-sided relationships. It clears the air of pretense and leaves you standing with the people who truly belong in your life. And when you see that truth, you will never fear stepping back again. Absence has a way of amplifying value in a way constant presence never can. When something or someone is always available, it becomes part of the background, easy to overlook, easy to take for granted. People grow accustomed to what they see every day, hear every day, and feel every day, until they stop recognizing the effort, the love, and the energy that presence represents. But when that presence is no longer there, the space it leaves behind becomes impossible to ignore. The moments that once felt ordinary suddenly stand out in memory. The voice they once heard without effort now echoes in their mind because it is gone. The gestures they never paused to appreciate now feel irreplaceable. This is the quiet power of absence. It teaches people to notice what they should have cherished all along. Absence does not always mean you have cut someone off. Sometimes it is simply choosing to step back from giving so much of yourself. It is allowing people to experience life without your constant availability, without the safety net you always provided, without the emotional support you always offered. And in that space they begin to see the truth. Your presence was not a given, it was a gift. The calls they never returned now feel like missed opportunities. The kindness they brushed aside now lingers in their thoughts. The comfort they felt around you now feels like a void they cannot easily fill. When you are absent, you are not punishing anyone, you are reminding them that nothing and no one should ever be taken for granted. Absence shifts the balance. It forces people to reflect instead of assuming you will always be there. It disrupts the rhythm they built around your consistency and makes them realize just how much of their stability, happiness, or motivation was tied to you being present. And while some will ignore this realization and move on, the ones who truly value you will take action. They will try to bring you back into their lives. They will apologize. They will reach out. They will adjust their own behavior to keep from losing you again. The beauty of absence is that it acts as a silent teacher. It does not argue. It does not plead. It does not force recognition. It simply steps away and lets the heart do the work. And the human heart, when confronted with loss, becomes painfully aware of what it once had. This awareness often comes too late for some, but for others, it creates a deeper bond, a renewed respect, and a greater appreciation for what you bring into their world. Absence transforms how people see you because it removes the assumption that you will always be there. It leaves them with the undeniable truth that your time, your attention, and your love are privileges, not entitlements. And once they truly understand that, the appreciation they feel will never be the same. Overgiving is a slow drain on your spirit, a quiet surrender of your energy until you wake up one day feeling empty, wondering why no one seems to give back in the same way. It starts with good intentions. You care. You want to help. You want to be there for others. You believe that if you give enough love, time, and effort, it will be recognized and returned. But the truth is, when you give without boundaries, people stop seeing your generosity as kindness and start seeing it as an expectation. What was once appreciated becomes assumed. They begin to believe your time is theirs, your energy is theirs, and your life should bend around their needs. This is how overgiving robs you. It takes from you while convincing you that you are doing the right thing. But giving too much to the wrong people doesn't make you kind, it makes you depleted. When you constantly pour into others without refilling yourself, you start living on emotional credit, and eventually the debt becomes unbearable. You begin to notice the imbalance, the unanswered messages, the one-sided conversations, the help that is never returned. And yet, if you are not careful, you keep giving, hoping one day they will notice. But overgiving is not a path to love or respect. It is a path to resentment. The people who take from you without giving back will not wake up one morning and suddenly change. Why would they, when your behavior tells them they can take endlessly without consequence? The only way to stop this cycle is to draw a line. You must understand that your worth is not measured by how much you sacrifice for others. It is measured by how well you protect your own energy. Saying no does not make you selfish. Taking time for yourself does not make you uncaring. Refusing to be available all the time does not mean you have failed someone. It means you have finally chosen to show up for yourself. When you stop overgiving, something shifts inside you. You begin to see which relationships were built on mutual respect and which ones were built on your constant effort alone. The ones who truly value you will understand and adjust, meeting you halfway. The ones who are only there for what you could provide will fade away, and while losing them may hurt, it will also free you. You will have more energy, more time, and more space for the people and things that actually matter. You will realize that the love you were so eager to give away also belongs to you. Overgiving leaves you with nothing. Balance leaves you with everything you need to thrive. The moment you stop making yourself endlessly available is the moment you stop being taken for granted. And in that space, you finally learn that you were never meant to save everyone. You were meant to save yourself first. Focusing on self. Growth is the decision to stop waiting for others to change and start becoming the version of yourself you've always known you could be. It's the shift from seeking validation to building self-worth, from chasing approval to chasing progress. Too often, people waste years trying to fix relationships, circumstances, or the behavior of others, hoping that once those things improve, life will finally feel right. But the truth is, the most powerful change you can ever experience begins within you. When you choose self-growth, you stop depending on the outside world to make you happy and start creating that happiness from the inside out. This means taking an honest look at yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your patterns, and your habits, not to criticize, but to understand. Growth requires self-awareness, and self-awareness demands honesty. It's not always comfortable to face the areas where you've held yourself back, but it is necessary. As you focus on becoming better, you naturally begin to outgrow certain people, places, and situations. Not because you think you're above them, but because you realize you can't move forward while carrying the weight of what no longer serves you. Self-growth is not about perfection. It's about progression. Every day you choose to learn something new, develop a skill, or challenge an old belief, you are moving closer to your potential. And with every small improvement, your confidence grows, your mindset shifts, and your future expands. This focus also teaches you discipline, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when growth feels slow, when nothing seems to be changing, but that's when persistence matters most. True transformation is built in quiet moments, in the consistent effort no one sees. As you invest in yourself, you also begin to protect your time and energy more fiercely. You stop entertaining meaningless distractions and start surrounding yourself with people who inspire you instead of draining you. The more you grow, the less tolerance you have for anything that pulls you backward. And something beautiful happens when you make yourself your priority. Life starts to align. Opportunities you once thought were out of reach begin to appear. People who share your values begin to enter your life. You attract better because you have become better. Focusing on self-growth doesn't mean you ignore others. It means you show up for them from a place of strength rather than depletion. You have more to give because you have filled yourself first. And the more you evolve, the more you inspire those around you to do the same. Self-growth is a lifelong journey with no final destination, but every step forward changes you. It shapes your mindset, strengthens your resilience, and deepens your understanding of yourself. And as you keep growing, you realize that the person you're becoming is someone you once dreamed of, and now you're living that dream through the choices you make every single day. Letting go without anger is one of the most freeing decisions you can make, because it allows you to move forward without carrying the weight of resentment. Too often, people believe they must be angry to walk away, that they need a sense of outrage to justify leaving someone or something behind. But the truth is, holding on to anger keeps you tied to what hurt you. It keeps the connection alive in your mind and heart, even if the situation is over. Choosing to let go without anger is choosing to prioritize peace over proof, healing over hostility. It doesn't mean you excuse what happened or pretend it didn't matter. It means you've decided it's no longer worth your energy to keep replaying it in your head. Anger can feel powerful in the moment, but over time it drains you, steals your clarity, and hardens your heart. Walking away calmly, without the need to prove your point or win the last argument, is an act of strength, not weakness. It's saying, I know my worth, and I don't need to destroy you to protect it. When you let go without anger, you take back control of your emotions. You stop allowing someone else's behavior to dictate how you feel. You stop chasing closure that may never come and start creating it for yourself. This kind of release is not about the other person. It's about freeing yourself from the cycle of reaction. It's understanding that forgiveness in this context is not about them deserving it, it's about you deserving peace. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply refusing to be affected anymore. You stop explaining, stop defending, stop trying to make them understand. You realize that understanding is not required for you to move on. People will expect you to be bitter, to hold grudges, to let the pain consume you. but surprising them and yourself with calm detachment is a victory they can never take from you. Letting go without anger also protects your future. When you carry resentment, it colors how you see new opportunities and new people. It makes you guarded in ways that keep you from fully experiencing joy again. By releasing without rage, you allow yourself to be open, to trust again, to live without suspicion dictating every choice. You begin to see that the situation or person you walked away from was not the end of your story, but simply a chapter that taught you something valuable. And when you can see the lesson without clinging to the pain, you know you've truly let go. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of reminding yourself, every time the anger tries to rise again, that you are not going back there, not in person, not in thought, not in emotion. Each time you choose calm over bitterness, you strengthen your ability to protect your peace. Eventually, the hurt becomes a memory, the memory loses its sting, and the space where anger used to live is replaced with freedom. And that freedom is worth far more than any revenge could ever give you.